things are okay right now. Mid-Missouri could see nasty weather this weekend. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jim Marie.
And I'm Jessica Porter, and what you're seeing could depend on where you live. Let's send it over to Tim for a check on what's coming our way.
Yeah, it really will be dependent on where you live to what you see this weekend. And we're going to get about 2 different waves of wintry precipitation over the next 72 hours, let's say. Winter weather advisories go into effect at midnight tonight through 9 o'clock tomorrow morning for Boone County, Cole County, and the Lake of the Ozarks. And that's with the expectation of a little bit of freezing drizzle in that forecast for tonight through tomorrow morning, early tomorrow morning. We still even have some flurries possible for northern Missouri tonight. Not expecting big impacts with the forecast tonight through tomorrow morning. There's still a little bit of salt in the roads, and it sounds like MoDOT is out there treating it at this time. There is a slight chance for some freezing drizzle to form up after about midnight, mixed in with a few light snow pellets mixed in there too. Eventually, though, by midday tomorrow, we're just left with mostly cloudy skies. Any snow or wintry precipitation around noon should be mainly up over northern Missouri. Cold air continues to move on in. High pressure is working in a cold Arctic air mass. We're back down into the 20s for a lot of us here this evening, and it's going to stay cold here throughout the weekend too. Coming up, I'll have a look at that weekend forecast that could be a little icy and snowy too. It's coming up here in just a couple of minutes.
Water usage is almost back to normal for Moberly residents after a water main break earlier this week caused a citywide outage.
We talked to residents about how the city handled the water shortage. KMUH's Maya McDonald is here in the studio with reaction.
For many people in Moberly, this was the source of their drinking water for the last few days after a water main break on Wednesday. The boil order is still in place, but people now have water pressure and no longer have to conserve. Today, I spoke to some folks who say that the city handled the problem well. Over the last few days, water became a commodity for nearly 14,000 people in Moberly who did not have ready access.
I was concerned because I had just gotten done doing laundry and taking a shower and everything, because I did that right before I heard the news alert. So I was concerned in that way.
Seeger has lived in Moberly for the last 9 years and can only recall one incident that affected the city like this one.
One time they did, but they've had it in different areas where different parts of the city of Moberly was affected.
Now that city crews are working to fix the water main that caused the outage, Seeger is reflecting on how the city handled the situation.
I liked that they got it out, news out early. They didn't let it go, and they've been taking care of the schools with the bottled water. And that's the main thing, is taking care of the kids first. With going to school, you don't want them to get sick.
Kelsey Jeffries, who's lived in Moberly her whole life, has similar feelings. Although she's mom not to a child, but to 2 small pugs, she believes the city handled the outage in the best way it could.
They ended up spending that day getting supplies of water for the students and the teachers and all the staff, and they were able to come up with a good supply to fill in for the kids at school.
And although Seeger won't have to make any more trips to the store for water, the outage has put things into perspective for her.
It's important because I'd rather have it to clean water to come out of the tap, so you can wash your clothes and be safe and not get sick and take showers.
Again, the boil order is still in place until crews can determine if any contaminants are still affecting the water. In the studio, Maya McDonald, KMUH News.
Jefferson City Police arrested 2 people after a brief chase this morning. It started when officers got reports of a stolen car. They spotted it on West Dunklin Street. The chase ended at the intersection of Bolivar and West Main. The SUV driver was taken to the hospital. The man who shot and killed a father of 4 at a St. Louis area restaurant is out of jail. Witnesses say the shooter argued with another man about how much a dog weighed. The victim died at the scene with a gunshot wound to the chest. Florissant police released the gunman because he had not been charged within 24 hours of his arrest. St. Louis County prosecutors say Missouri's Stand Your Ground law is complicated and possible charges are possible.
Here's what's happening right now. According to the New York Times, President Trump's chief of staff, John Kelly, is offering to resign in the wake of Rob Porter's exit following domestic abuse allegations against him. This comes as the president broke his silence today about Porter leaving. As NBC's Blaine Alexander reports, there are questions about what the White House knew and when.
President Trump this morning signing a measure to fund and reopen the government after an all-night standoff in Congress.
That's a story
But later in the Oval Office, the president addressing an issue that has dogged the White House for days. Staff Secretary Rob Porter resigning after allegations of domestic violence.
Well, we wish him well. He worked very hard. I found out about it recently, and I was surprised by it.
Porter, a top aide to the president, stepped down Wednesday after two of his ex-wives accused him of physical and emotional abuse. Porter has denied those allegations.
I think you have to remember that. He said very strongly yesterday that he's innocent.
But no comment from the president about the two alleged victims. This photo, released by Porter's first ex-wife, who says Porter choked and punched her. Porter says he took the picture, but adds the reality behind it is completely different. Today, his other ex-wife, Jennifer Willoughby, says she was abused too.
He definitely let me know that I was going to be contacted by the FBI once he was tapped for the White House, and he was curious what I was going to say. He really wanted to know, what are you going to tell them? And I told him I'm going to tell them the truth.
Now, Chief of Staff John Kelly under fire. Questions over when he knew about these allegations and why he did not act sooner. Blaine Alexander, NBC News, Washington.
Today, the White House is being pressed on why Porter had access to such sensitive information as a White House aide without a full security clearance.
The downtown Columbia post office could get a new name. Congresswoman Vicky Hartzler introduced a bill to rename the post office after Army Specialist Sterling Wyatt. He died 6 years ago while serving in Afghanistan. Tim Rich wrote a letter to Hartzler in support of the idea. He hopes it will symbolize respect for all military veterans.
Every veteran who enlists or in some other way, shape, or form gets involved with our military voluntarily signs on a dotted line, willing to make the ultimate sacrifice for all of us.
KOMU 8 News spoke to the Sterling family. We'll hear their story at 6.
Olympic fans are just a few hours away from watching the opening ceremonies right here on KOMU. The ceremonies are tape delayed because of the time difference. The big story from the ceremonies was the cold weather with temperatures in the 30s with a strong wind. Join us at 7 for the telecast. There haven't been any medals awarded yet, but we will have an updated medal count throughout the games. The first medal will be awarded in the women's 15-kilometer skiathlon tomorrow at 2:15 a.m.
Americans close to retirement are keeping a close eye on the ups and downs of the stock market, how to keep your money growing after you hang it up.
Plus, more deaths and more hospital stays as the flu is not going away. That's later in the show.
And you're taking a live look over downtown Columbia on this Friday afternoon. It is 5:06. This is KOMU 8 News, first at 5. Coverage you can count on.
Unsafe and dangerous. That's what some drivers are saying about one well-traveled Columbia road. A Target 8 investigation examines the crash data on Rock Quarry Road and takes our findings to the city. Tonight on KOMU 8 News at 10.
Reel wants to send your family on a Disney Cruise Line vacation. Watch Reel all this week and enter the bonus puzzle solution at wheeloffortune.com for your chance to experience magic at sea as you set sail with Disney Cruise Line.
Weeknights at 6:30 on KOMU 8. Track storms wherever you are. Download the free KOMU 8 Weather and Traffic app. Brought to you by University Subaru.
When I was struggling with obesity, even the little things were difficult for me.
Blue Valley Surgical Associates helped me lose weight and get back to enjoying the little things in life.
Specializing in life-changing weight loss surgery. Our team of healthcare professionals offer personalized care and comprehensive support to help each patient overcome the unique challenges of obesity. Blue Valley Surgical Associates can help you get more out of life. To learn more, visit us online.
Governor Eric Greitens' Working Families Tax Cut Plan will put more money in your pocket. His bold conservative plan will cut taxes for 97% of Missourians, dramatically cut taxes for working families, lower the tax burden for businesses and job creators, and close special interest loopholes. Fiscally responsible, revenue neutral, more jobs and economic growth. Learn more about Greitens' plan to cut taxes for 97% of Missourians at taxcutsforworkingfamilies.com.
The First Alert Weather Cam is brought to you by the law firm of Harper, Evans, Wade, and Nettemeyer. We will fight for you.
All right, welcome back. This is a look over the Jefferson City area. A little hazy low-lying sky cover now that the cold fronts move through the state, or at least through most of central Missouri. A lot of our temperatures have quickly fallen back into the 30s. It's 31 right now in Columbia. Relative humidity 69%. That's a little bit more improved than what it was earlier today. It was down in the 30s earlier this afternoon. Northeast winds at 14 miles per hour. It's making it cold outside. Wind chills are down in the 20s at this hour. And your 5 o'clock temperatures here throughout the state. 26 right now up in Moberly. It's 29 in Mexico. 31 out in Boonville. Still holding on to that 40-degree mark down in Lake Ozark for a couple more minutes. That colder air is starting to move on in. Here is a look at that winter weather headline for you. Friday night through noon, we have a slight chance for some spotty freezing drizzle in central Missouri. That's kind of shifted a little bit further south now than originally thought, so we do have a slight chance for some of that after about 9 or 10 o'clock this evening. Saturday during the daytime, it's mainly going to be a dry afternoon. I think if you have any afternoon plans to run, or any of those errands, should be okay. And if you're going to that Mizzou basketball game tomorrow afternoon, starts at 1 o'clock, should be okay to get there and then should be okay to leave. The spotty sleet and snow doesn't start up until probably the evening. Right now it looks like Saturday evening through Sunday morning, sleet and a snow mix south of I-70 with light snow in central and in northern Missouri. And again, all of that would then transition into central and southern Missouri through Sunday morning. Here's a look at that weekend precip. I showed this a moment ago. Here's where the chance for that freezing drizzle is tonight over central and western Missouri. All the light snow stays well north of Columbia and well north of our viewing area tonight. Into tomorrow morning and tomorrow by noon, most of this is gone. And we should enter into a period of dry time for the daytime hours on Saturday. We don't really get any more precipitation up until about late afternoon, early evening. That's when some very spotty sleet and snow tries to develop over central and southern Missouri. Could see some freezing rain even mixed in there closer to the Lake of the Ozarks. But that looks to be lesser of a possibility than anything now as some cooler air wants to move on in. Saturday evening and Saturday night, then it starts to transition into all snow for central and northern Missouri, especially up towards Moberly, Macon, Salisbury, Marshall, and out towards Kansas City. For Jefferson City, could still see a little bit of sleet and snow even into parts of Gasconade County too, out into Miller County, Tuscumbia down that way, and even into the Lake of the Ozarks. All of the freezing rain and sleet looks to be out towards St. Louis. If you're a Mardi Gras goer tomorrow, just keep in mind you could have a little bit of ice on some of those roads Saturday night. Snow potential right now, it looks like 2 to 4 inches of snow is expected from Kansas City up Highway 24 into Moberly and Macon. And then out towards northern Missouri, about 1/2 inch to 2 inches of snow is expected in central Missouri through Sunday morning. Out over parts of eastern and southeastern Missouri, that's where some of the ice could start to cut into some of your snow totals. So right now up to 1/2 inch of snow with about 5/100ths of an inch of ice accumulation down toward I-44 into Sunday morning. So roads aren't going to be a complete issue this weekend, but just keep in mind some of those bridges and overpasses could be a little slick. Mostly cloudy tonight, patchy drizzle possible. That could be freezing. 20 degrees, that overnight low temperature. Tomorrow is spotty PM wintry mix. Not widespread, and it's mainly after the afternoon hours. 27 in the afternoon with light snow developing into the evening. That ends Sunday morning. Could see about 1/2 inch to 2 inches of snowfall in central Missouri. After this system's done with us, we're back into the 30s and 40s. And even 50s possibly for part of next week.
A busy weekend.
Yes, it will be.
All right, Tim, thanks. The tax season can be difficult for those who are new from a different country.
But one Columbia accountant is trying to make it easier. That's after the break.
This First Alert weather forecast is brought to you by Liberty Herbicide from Bayer.
When we decided to do some recarpeting, I said, look, we've got to go to Stovers. From sales to installation was great, and it was easy. Their inventory was incredible. We used their expertise, things that I hadn't even thought of, and actually saved us a lot of money over what a big box store would. Gosh, if I had to choose, whether to do another project with Stovers or maybe somebody else, it would be hands down Stovers carpet. It would be hard for me to even look at any place else.
Where will you be when the whole world comes together? The opening ceremony of the Winter Olympics tonight, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on NBC.
Every one of these kids has greatness inside of them. Don't be scared. I promise you, you can be extraordinary.
Closed captioning of KOMU 8 News is brought to you by Bob McCosh Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac.
Paint? No, this isn't just paint. This is the most advanced one-coat coverage. Made with molecules that bond stronger, bond tighter, and bond tougher in one coat for beauty that starts and stays that way. Because this isn't just paint. This is Paramount.
Right now at Menards, get 11% off everything, including Pittsburgh Paramount Paint.
Register now for the Show Me State Games Hooping It Up Youth Basketball Tournaments. Grades 3 through 8 compete in the NPICS Tournament February 23rd through 25th. Grades 3 through high school compete March 23rd through 25th. The Games also excited to announce 2 new events for 2018. The Mo Nasp Archery Tournament State Qualifier February 24th at the Hearn Center, and the Spring Slam Volleyball Tournament March 24th and 25th. Visit smsg.org for all the details.
Wall Street capped a week of violent swings with a big gain today. The Dow climbed 330 points during a turbulent day of trading. At one point, it was down 500 points. Later, it was up 500 points. Fears about inflation and interest rates drove the Dow down about 1,300 points for the week. The 5.2% sell-off was the worst weekly decline in 2 years.
The violent swings in the market can impact those who are no longer in the job market. KMUH's Jalen Johnson is in the studio to tell us how retirees can plan for an unpredictable drops in the market.
Some people have the time to make up for losses of investments in the market, but retirees don't always have the same luxury. Retirees who still invest in the stock market could take a huge hit when weeks like the one we've had come to play out. The amount of time it could take the market to swing back up might be too long for those out of the workforce. One financial planner encourages his clients, especially close to retirement age, to always plan early for a drop in stocks.
Well, I think the most important thing for my clients is planning out those cash flows. So I think that when somebody gets to a retirement age, it's really important to put on paper so that you understand where your money is coming from every month.
Sullivan says if you need the money within 10 years, it shouldn't be going into the market. In the studio, Jalen Johnson, KOMU 8 News.
America's tax season is often criticized as being way too complicated. So imagine trying to file your taxes, especially if you can't speak English. KOMU8's Gabrielle Hayes has more on what a Columbia woman is doing to help.
For 2 years, the Columbia-based organization, the City of Refuge, has connected local refugees to tax help, bridging the gap between language barriers and sometimes bringing the services to them.
It's the time of the year people are thinking about taxes.
We have to deal with financial stuff, our bills, our credit cards.
But for those who are part of the City of Refuge, instead of crunching numbers, they call Charlotte Hootinen.
Charlotte is one of those people in our community who cares very much for the refugees.
Hootinen provides discounted tax services to refugees in Columbia.
I counted up, I did 20 returns for families last year who were from the City of Refuge.
She brings her services to them.
I can come. I could also meet them, you know, they wouldn't have to come to the meeting.
And spends time learning about their lives and their needs.
You know, it makes me feel that I'm glad that I can help them, and I get to know those people that I might not know otherwise.
The executive director of the City of Refuge says the impact of her work goes above and beyond.
Word gets out, and the relationships start to build, the friendships start to build, and then as that happens, more and more people realize there's a resource.
Hootinen says she has no plans of ending her services anytime soon, only plans to broaden her horizon.
Yes, I plan to do it as long as I'm working. I may have to retire someday. I can always help the City of Refuge people as long as I am.
Hootinen meets with refugees twice a week and plans to do so until the end of the tax season. Live in the newsroom, Gabrielle Hayes, KOMU8 News.
We'll have my exclusive interview with Vice President Pence, his message here to North Korea as he practically comes face-to-face with Kim Jong-un's sister here in Pyeongchang. And at home, record hospitalizations as the flu outbreak shows no signs of abating tonight.
I get my power from my co-op, so I can put my energy into my family.
So I can put my energy into waking up the neighborhood.
So I can put my energy into planting seeds for a brighter future.
Touchstone Energy Cooperatives.
Power to your community, for your community. So your energy can go into the things that matter most to you.
Like my passion.
Who powers you? Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, your source of power and information.
I feel like I have new legs now. They are lighter, I have more energy, and the appearance of them is much nicer as well.
Feathers, I mean, like lights. I can run on air. I mean, I haven't felt like this since I was probably 22 years old.
Well, since I've had treatments, my legs feel great. Best thing I could have done.
When I wake up in the morning, I feel revived now and ready for my day, and the energy lasts all day long.
Take charge of your health at Missouri Vein Care.
We had a deal.
Things change.
Jeff, where are you going?
To get our girls.
Like a butterfly, sting like a bee. King Kong got nothing on me.
Black Lightning, Tuesdays at 9, 8 Central on the CW.
Black Lightning, Tuesday at 8 on Mid-Missouri's CW.
Presenting Casey's Pizza to Pump Payoff, where the more you buy, the more you save. Pad your pocket by saving 10 cents per gallon for each large Casey's pizza you purchase. 2 pizzas saves you 20 cents. 3 pizzas, 30 cents. The savings keep piling up. This month, get free brownie bites with the purchase of any large pizza. Casey's, famous for pizza.
Let your inner Zeus loose to support the Special Olympics Missouri athletes at the Columbia Polar Plunge on March 3rd at Bass Pro Shops Lake. Proceeds support 15,000 children and adults with intellectual disabilities in year-round sports training and competitions throughout the Show Me State. The Polar Plunge is cool in so many ways. It's great team building for a great cause. So get your family, friends, and coworkers together and take the plunge to make a difference in an athlete's life today. Sign up at somo.org/plunge.
The CDC is reporting that once again, this year's flu season is getting worse. The flu sent about 60 in every 100,000 people to the hospital during the 5th week of 2018. That's up from the previous week. The report also says 10 more children have died due to the flu-related causes. That brings the total number of influenza-linked pediatric deaths to 63 for the season. New research from the AAA Foundation for Traffic Safety found that drowsy drivers are a bigger road risk than previously thought. Accidents are 3 times as likely during nighttime hours where drowsiness was a factor. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration estimates that drowsy driving is responsible each year for about 83,000 crashes, 37,000 of them with injuries and nearly 900 deaths. Scientists in New York and Scotland say they succeeded for the first time in growing human eggs in a lab from the earliest stages to full maturity. It's significant because it has only been achieved in mice. The achievement could one day help in developing regenerative medicine therapies and new infertility treatments. KLU 8 News will be back after the break.
Mornings start fast.
Once you're up, you don't have a second to waste.
You get ready, grab a cup of coffee, and then you're out the door. Mornings move fast around here, too.
Before the sun comes up, we're bringing you all the news that happened while you were sleeping.
Live news updates happening now from the Right Now desk and your local traffic to avoid the slowdowns.
And I'm tracking weather hour by hour to help you plan.
All to get you out the door prepared for your day.
Because great days begin with great mornings.
KOMU 8 News Today, coverage you can count on.
Good morning, Mid-Missouri.
You can smell it. You can almost taste it. You know exactly what you want. Your instincts demand it. Give them a reason to rejoice. Tonight, get your Longhorn favorites, like our outlaw ribeye, Parmesan crusted chicken, or the Longhorn salmon. The feeling, the flavor, the place. Longhorn Steakhouse. You can't fake steak.
So the satellite went out last night in the rain in the middle of my show. I've had it. We're switching to Spectrum.
Wait, what? Honey? All right, you've got free HD and free primetime on demand.
Yeah, right. Free.
Yeah, it's free.
Get Spectrum TV with superior HD in any weather. Plus thousands of titles free on demand. Just $29.99 a month. Call 844-417-2999.
And you get 100 megabit Spectrum internet.
100? Is that even legal?
Shouldn't you get ready for work?
Get the fastest internet starting speeds for the price, just $29.99 a month, plus unlimited nationwide calling with Spectrum Voice. Call 844-417-2999.
Okay, you're all set.
Deal, huh? 1-year contract.
Nope, no contracts.
What happens on Maple Street stays on Maple Street.
Get Spectrum TV, internet, and voice for just $29.99 a month each with no contracts. Call 844-417-2999.
Celebrate with some good old-fashioned American values this President's Day at Capital Chrysler. Save up to 20% off on select new vehicles and financing as low as 0% APR. Receive up to $7,000 off the 2017 Jeep Renegade and up to 20% off the 2017 Dodge Grand Caravan. Or lease this 2018 Jeep Wrangler for $339 per month with zero down. Join us for the President's Day sales event going on now. Capital Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Go with the guys you know.
In 2008, Republic Services acquired the Bridgeton landfill in a merger. Since then, we've invested $200 million to clean up the site and to maintain environmental compliance. We do that while staffing the facility 24/7. That's because we support permanent solutions that are safe for our neighbors and clean up the environment. We're committed to doing what's right. That's what drives us every day. We're a part of the community, and we are here for the long haul. Republic Services. We'll handle it from here.
Today's Pet Corner on KOMU8 is brought to you by Columbia Allergy and Asthma Specialist. Breathe easy and livefree.com.
Hey everyone, with me on today's Pet Corner is Jay. He's a 4-year-old pit terrier mix. He's a playful guy. He loves his toys, especially those Kong toys that you can put the little peanut butter in. He does great with other dogs and would love a great home that has plenty of energy. And if you want to find him or any of the other dogs at the Central Humane Society, call 573-443-PETS.
Moberly residents have been dealing with a water outage since Wednesday. Crews have been working to try and get things back to normal. KOMU8's Maya McDonald is here in the studio with an update.
City crews worked today to fix the water main break responsible for a citywide water outage that's been affecting people since Wednesday. The director of public utilities told me crews were able to fix the water main this afternoon. However, a boil advisory is still in effect for the time being. City officials want to make sure the water is free of contaminants before they say everything is A-OK. Live in the studio, Maya McDonald, KOMU8 News.
Now here's a look at what we're following for KOMU8 News at 6. Snow plows could be on the move this weekend.
And if you see a plow, be a courteous driver. That story is coming up at 6 o'clock. Tim.
All right, winter weather advisories go into effect at midnight tonight through tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock for central and southwestern Missouri. A little bit of freezing drizzle could be possible there. The wintry precip for tonight looks like this. That area shaded in pink is where that freezing drizzle chance is at. Your evening forecast overall, though, is just a cloudy one. Temperatures down to 27 this evening, 20 tonight, and then we still have that chance for round number 2 late tomorrow afternoon, more so for tomorrow evening, though.
It looks like Missouri is in 4 different sections.
It's a complex mess, let's put it that way, for the forecast. It doesn't look like a big, impactful system, but just keep in mind, some of those roads could be a little slow.
That is our time for now. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
On air